What's going on, family? What's going on? Black Feniks checking in. Right now, I am at the headquarters inside of my garage, and I wanted to talk to you about welding versus metal fabrication. Had someone ask me a few things about it, and I wanted to start off actually telling you a story. There was a gentleman out of Alabama, Mississippi area that who had welded for 20 years, and he was a extreme good at what he did when it came to welding. And he worked for the company for 20 years, and the company ended up going out of business or having to shut down. And the guy, ended up having to retire early and, end up kind of going into depression a little bit because, he was looking for a job and then he was too old. He was like, man, you know what? I don't really want to mess around. And then, and come to find out, at the end that he never thought to fabricate, like to make something. You know what I mean? So he always thought that he had to weld. And to me, the big difference of just welding versus fabricating, I mean, it gives you more options. It even makes you more of an asset when you're going to look at different employers if you're trying to get a job or you're doing contract work. If you're just a welder alone, I have been on jobs. I can't tell you how many jobs I've been on, especially field welding jobs where a person can say, oh, I'm a good welder, and they're certified welding, but that's all they wanted to do. They didn't want to learn how to operate the lifts. They didn't want to learn how to do any small fabrication or cutting parts, because sometimes, miscellaneous stuff comes in when it comes to being even millwright steps in when it comes to doing miscellaneous leveling and doing piecework and doing parts and drilling holes. All of that stuff plays a part into it. So it's more than just welding. So when you focus on the welding part, you want to be good at your welding. You want to get it down where you can be able to know where you're going wrong at. So if you have some issues and you're going wrong, you want to be able to know how to have your weld turn out correct. And you want to know if some things going wrong with it, you want to know how to troubleshoot it. At the same time, you want to be able to, once you utilize all those skills and get your technique down, you want to start working on your fabrication as well. You want to keep your options open. And I just want to say that because I think being a welding fabricator will allow your career to last endlessly. Like you can fabricate until you dead. You know what I mean? Like I know, like especially when you into it, like you can make small things. You can go from making heavy things to making smaller things, lightweight. I actually about to start fabricating. I got some pieces here. I'm about to start fabricating a new design for a new skid for a generator. So I'm about to create a new welding skid for a generator to do commercial and field work using a generator instead of a big welding generator. Because some people, commercial contractors, they have generators, but they still use cutting torches or they still use certain things. So I'm gonna come up with a system where they can have their toolbox, the stuff that they need all on one assembly. So I'm about to start working on that. And that's a cool thing with fabrication. It gives you more option. It gives you the opportunity to think outside of the box and to create things that can be a need for yourself and a need for someone else, so fabrication is endless. Some of my fabrication work. Fabrication is endless and it's all on you, thinking outside of the box and using your skills as far as mathematics skills, because that plays in. I would say learning under a good fabricator is great. Being on a job that fabricate, a lot of good fabrication I have learned has been on the job training. I have learned a lot of fabrication on the job training, learning how to use certain tools. I've always been keen to thinking outside of the box, so it kind of came natural to me. And then once I learned certain tools, I figured out how to utilize certain things to actually do what I was trying to do. So, and then as you go, you get more and more ideas. But I would most definitely say welding is a big part in being a metal fabrication also is a big part, but a person can be a metal fabricator and a welder. And a person can just be a welder alone. So just weld only. So I have met many people who only want to weld. That's all they want to do is just weld. So that's cool. I don't knock nobody that just want to weld. I remember in Feniks, tell you another story. I was on with a company doing some field welding, and there was a gentleman that got hired. He wanted to do some welding, but it was more involved. And he always complained about whatever was going on. He complained, man, I really want to do this, man. I need to get paid more. And I'm like, man, you got to start from somewhere, man. But I was doing all the welding. And the guy was comfortable with my welds because I passed all the stuff. We came through. We got stuff done. We moved on. I was quick. I knew I wanted it to look right. You know what I mean? So I wasn't telling him not to do it. And I even gave him stuff, go on and knock it out. And I chill, go on and knock it out. And if it wasn't right, I fall back and fix it. Said, nah, you put too much time on that. You put too much thought into it. You know what I mean? You have to learn how to troubleshoot it, knowing, okay, I got to get up off of it. It's too hot right now. You got to determine things like that. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to really get that keyed in when you're being just a welder alone, but you want to be more flexible. So I'm going to say learning both skills, fabricating and welding, I think that's going to be a real plus for people that's jumping into the field, because if you get it from the intro, from the gate, it's going to be a lot easier. If you just focus on welding alone, I think that for some people, like, don't get me wrong, for some people, welding alone is a good task, a big task for them, a good focus, and that's just what they want to do. Then you have some that just want to more mechanically, or they think a lot like me. You just want to be more agile and do more things, and you can jump into both fields and do both of them. So I do think that it's an asset to utilize both of them. So just don't just be a welder, in my opinion. Be a welder and a fabricator, because you can be able to do things that others can't do, and it gives you more flexibility and gives you more room to be more of an asset. So for those who are thinking about being a welder and a fabricator, I think it's a plus. So, but welding, as far as the welding standpoint, I believe that you limit yourself if you just want to be a welder only. Now, I know welder onlys that make good money. All they do is weld, just pipe weld, or they stainless weld, or they do aerospace welding, or whatever the situation may be, and they're just welding alone, and they get paid because the welds got to be good and you got to be in line, and that's fine. But if you want to be independent, being independent, you want to be more of a fabricator and a welder, because then you can be able to work for yourself more. You don't have to depend on a check from an employer, just being a welder only. It's because sometimes, I mean, even being independent, if you're just a welder only, you're going to be limited to the money that you're going to make. So you want to be able to do both. So that's why I stress, because I believe being able to do both is really going to open up some doors for you. So just wanted to come to you a little bit this evening and talk to you about welding versus metal fabrication, because I believe having a combination of both will put you in a better situation. So just keep that in mind. I say keep that in mind. Do what you can to learn both. So for those who do know both, it's an asset to just keep it sharpened. For those who are trying to get independent, I think you should most definitely learn both of them, because it's going to help you in your independence and your freedom to actually do many different things once you learn to fabricate. So just wanted to say that. Y'all be blessed out there. Hope everything is going good with the family time. And like I say, I will be coming to y'all shortly, soon, probably the next few days or so. I'm going to be working on a new design, like I say, for a generator set up for commercial / field welding, doing repairs and stuff like that for people who have a generator set up. So we always have to think outside the box and come up with different things. So I just wanted to keep you posted on that, what we're going to be working on, and keep getting our hog on. Y'all be blessed.